Girl, if you want to start your business, if you want to be successful online, you are going to have to start being stingy and selfish with your time, okay? You don't have time to play. You don't have time to go to Taco Tuesdays and happy hour Fridays and thirsty Thursdays. You have a business to run. Like, what are you doing? And it's like the longer I've been an entrepreneur, the more I realize how much time goes by so quickly. And a lot of times we end up wasting so much time because we're trying to be people pleasers. We're trying to show up for our friends. We're trying to show up for our family. And somewhere in the mix, we're trying to show up for ourselves, but we realize we don't have enough time for ourselves. So we put ourselves on the back burner, and then nothing that we wanted gets done. And I'm here to tell you, you cannot be like that. All right. I have been a full time entrepreneur for 5 years, all online money, six figure CEO, period. And that was the toughest thing I had to learn on my journey. I've been on lots of journeys, but that was by far the toughest thing I had to learn. When you're trying to reach success, and whatever that means for you, like what I consider successful and what you consider successful, maybe two different successfuls, right? But when you're trying to reach your version of success, a lot of times it's going to require you to sacrifice relationships. And I don't mean sacrifice them in a way of like you're cutting them off, they're dead to you, you're never going to talk to them again. But I mean, you're going to have to start being so much more stingier with your time, especially like when you're working a job, because you already are giving pretty much 9 hours, 10 hours out of your day to a job. So when you come home, you're probably tired, right? You're going to eat, spend time with your kids or whatever, but then it's like you have to lock in and focus on you. And that's going to require you to chill out on the Netflix binging. That's going to require you to stop mindlessly scrolling on TikTok and Instagram. That's going to require you to lock in and focus on your goals. And the quicker you realize that, the quicker things will start to work for you. And on top of that, too, sometimes it's, well, not, I won't say sometimes, a lot of times, like when you do start locking in and elevating and you're working on your business, you're going to outgrow a lot of people. Like the friends that you used to have, if you're lucky, you might have one or two that stick it with you. They understand, they're supportive. But in my case, I didn't have that. I did not have that at all. Okay. So I could only give you what I experienced. But now, will I say it wasn't worth it? Hell no. It was definitely worth it. Like, I'm glad I did. But it was definitely like a lonely chapter. It was very lonely because I used to be the girl that always needed friends for validation. And, I used to talk to people all the time, gossip, all of the things. And once I started locking into my business, first of all, I was the only person I knew in my circle, in my family, that had a business. Okay, so that's number one. And then number two, the more I started getting involved and, really starting to see it flourish and I'm getting more excited about it, the more I realized I didn't really have anything in common with the friends that I had previously. Like we were slowly like drifting apart. And I'm not sitting here saying it's anyone's fault. Life be life and things be happening and you're not always going to go in the same direction as your friends. But I don't think people talk about it enough. And looking at social media, I'd see influencers, entrepreneurs with all these friends, and I'd be like, dang, why I ain't got no friends? Everybody got friends. I don't have no friends. There must be something wrong with me, right? And I realized shortly after, most people don't have a whole bunch of friends, anyways. But on top of that, a lot of times it's gonna require you to sacrifice relationships because you gotta think about it. You're either going to spend the time working on your business or you're going to spend the time being out and about doing nothing that's going to better you, right? Like your friends might like to go out and drink, they might like to go to lounges, bars, whatever. But if you're really a woman who's trying to be on her SHIT, you're not going to have time for that, especially when you choose a niche and something that you truly love. And that's why I tell y'all all the time, like, choose something that you really love. Choose something that you have experience and skills with when it comes to creating a digital product and making content. Because when you choose something that you really love, you will be so surprised at how warped you are, how wrapped up you are, how wrapped up you are in your purpose. You know, like it gets to the point where you don't even want to do things with other people because you truly enjoy what you do. Like you love your craft, you love your business, you love your audience. Like you just love what you do so much. You no longer have interest in doing things that have nothing to do with that. And I used to think there was something wrong with me with that too. I'd be like, why don't I have balance? Why don't I love to work on my business and go do this and go do that? And I realized it's because my business is my purpose. Like what I do, teaching people, inspiring people, motivating people, working out, showing my whole spiritual journey, weight loss journey. That's truly what I love to do. Like it really is. And there's nothing wrong with that. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you don't know how to balance life. No, it means that you found your purpose. You're walking in your calling. And not a lot of people get to experience that. So therefore, not a lot of people can relate to that. And so therefore, you start to feel like there's something wrong with you when really it's just something wrong with them. It's really them. It's really them. No, but seriously, there's nothing wrong with you. And honestly, it's the best gift you can give yourself to be stingy with your time and focus on pouring into yourself. And the longer you work on your business, as the months and the years go by, you start to become even more smarter with your time. You start to realize, like, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time on foolishness. I'm not going to waste my time on people and things that aren't bettering me. I'm not going to stick around for breadcrumbs. I'm not sticking around for nothing. You know what I mean? But that's because you're starting to elevate. You're really walking into your purpose. You're becoming that girl. You are focused on your own thing. A lot of people don't get to experience that. A lot of people don't know what it's like to focus on that thing that they love. A lot of people live in codependency, and I used to be one of them. So it's so hard for people to be able to relate to you because that's not how they live their life. Most people never get to find their purpose, let alone get paid to do their purpose. Like, what? So it's going to make you feel like there's something wrong with you, but I'm telling you, there's not. But the only way you're going to get to that point is if you start being stingy with your time now. Like, even if you haven't necessarily figured out what niche you want to be in or, what kind of digital product you want to make, that's okay. The fact that you're putting one foot in front of the other, and maybe you only have 30 minutes a day after work, kids, spouse, you really only have 30 minutes left in your day to lock in on you. I need you to start using those 30 minutes to lock in on you. We ain't got time for no more excuses. We ain't got time for it. Them excuses got to go because you are worth all of your dreams, all of your goals. But the problem is, you say you don't have time. You do have time. Listen, I always say we may not all have the same responsibilities, but we all have the same 24 hours. And 25,000 times out of five, you are using the free time that you do have to things that are not helping you towards your business. Like I said, you're scrolling on Netflix. You probably spent the whole weekend watching some Tyler Perry series. You should have been working on that business. You probably spent the whole weekend laying in bed, watching Lifetime, Hallmark, gossiping, talking to your girlfriends. You should have been working on that business. You want to be outside, it's getting warm. You want to be outside, festivals, carnivals, all of the things. Your ass should have been inside working on that business. You have got to be stingy with your time. And I'm not sitting here saying you can't go do things outside of your business. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is the more you start to walk in your purpose and you figure out what it is you really want to do, you figure out your calling, the less interested you are going to be in doing things outside of that. Not saying you won't do them, but certain people, certain environments you're going to outgrow because you're growing. You are turning into the CEO that you have always envisioned for yourself. You are finally starting to make that content. You're finally starting to get that confidence. You're showing up for yourself every single day and your business and your audience. You're evolving. And a lot of times you're going to end up outgrowing people and places and activities that you used to do, but that's because that's the old version of you. Listen, I believe you should always be trying to better yourself. Every single day you should be doing better than you did yesterday. And I'm not saying it has to be like huge differences, but little small, minute things that compound into bigger things. So an example could be you want to start eating right. So today You start counting your calories, right? Today you stay in your caloric deficit, whatever it is, right? So then the next day you're going to start adding some more steps. You're going to walk around your building. You're going to go take a mile walk, whatever it is. Maybe the day after that you're going to stop drinking soda. Like every single day you start doing just a little bit better than you did yesterday. Girl, 6 months to a year, 5 years from now, you're going to be a totally different person. And if the people around you aren't evolving with you and trying to do better for themselves and trying to elevate, you are going to quickly outgrow them. So you got to be stingy. Understand, time goes by so quick. It is May. Y'all, like, what? It's almost May. Tomorrow. Yes, 5 months into 2025. So my question for you is, what are you doing? Girl, you better make that content. You better post about that digital product. You better stop with the excuses. You better level up. You best be working on that business. You say you want it, so I need you to really want it. Not just talk about it, but actually be about it. All right? Make sure you guys sign up for my 12-week content creation digital products mentorship program. The link is down below. I'll see y'all later. Bye.